Paul has a disease which is not curable. In this video, we will show how the disease is discovered and what can be done. Through many diagnostic tests and symptoms, we determined what the disease was. It's an inherited disease with the X-linked recessive pattern.
Hey, it's your boy, Paul Issa. I'm the star of this show. I'm the guy that has the H word. I'm also a multimillionaire actor, so thank you.
Hi, I'm Reese. You might have known me from my previous Academy Award-winning roles such as hematologist, Paul Issa's mother, Mrs. Issa, and, the neurosurgeon. So I guess that's not much.
Hey guys, I was the ER nurse, phlebotomist, and the surgeon that performed Paul's craniotomy.
I'm the EMT, the ER nurse 1, and radiologist.
What's up? I'm the dad of Paul Issa, Mr. Issa, also the guy that beat him up at the same time.
Hi, I'm Ethan, and I'm the neurologist. Don't look at me any lawsuits against me.
Hey Paul, what kind of name is that? Issa? That's the dumbest name I've ever heard. And why are you so small? Compared to me, this is like David and Goliath. Hey Paul, I saw you picking your nose today. That's disgusting. Paul, you're so dumb. You never get invited anywhere. You're so gauche too. You didn't even get into STEM, and that's the easiest thing you could get into. You're so dumb, Paul.
How you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
This wasn't supposed to go like this, but I'm never going back there.
Ma'am, is that your son?
Oh my gosh, Paul. Paul, what happened? Paul, who did this to you? Oh my gosh, Paul, speak to me. Oh my gosh, I knew being 2 in high school would be hard, but you were so advanced. I thought things were gonna be okay. I didn't expect some kid to just walk up and do this to you. I mean, you said the kids were messing with you, but I didn't think it could go this far. Paul, can you see me? Are you okay? Paul, please speak to me. I'm gonna call 911.
Nobody move. I got him. Ambulance is here.
Please, just tell me where you're going. What's happening with him? He just fell over and he wouldn't stop bleeding. I don't understand what's going on.
Calm down. I'm giving him an MRI.
Just tell me what's going on. I don't know what that means. What is an MRI?
Calm down.
He's never had an MRI before. He's 2. But what's that? What's going on? What is this?
We're gonna see what the test results are, and then we'll get right back to you.
Okay.
Concussion, or simply hitting your head too hard, can cause and lead to neural bleeding, painful headaches, vomiting, and double vision or seizures. All these problems can be detected by an MRI. An MRI uses magnetism and radio waves to take a picture. This test does not involve any radiation from the X-rays. First, the body will be put on a platform onto the back and be slid into a tube. The tube will rotate around you, taking pictures by sending waves which bounce off the body and then produce an image on a machine. The results are shown in the MRI video in the video.
Where have you been? It's been 4 hours.
It takes a while. Basically, your son had head trauma, and it causes a hematoma in the brain, and it causes a soft clot, which can be removed by basically anything.
Hey, Miss Issa, I'm the phlebotomist. I'm going to take a complete blood count test on your son. In the complete blood count test, we measure the amount of hemoglobin. This is done by wiping the skin with an alcohol pad, inserting a syringe, and then drawing 2 teaspoons of blood. When it is sent to the lab, we check for a normal range of red blood cells, which is 4.2 to 5.9 million cells. And a normal range for hemoglobin is 13 to 17.5 grams per deciliter for men and 12 to 15.5 for women. This blood test that we took, it measures the amount of hemoglobin, and we found that the hemoglobin level and red blood cell count was low, and it was due to the fact that he was already bleeding so much internally. So now I'm going to send in a hematologist who's going to take the prothrombin test to test on the blood clots.
The prothrombin time test is designed to test how fast the blood is in your blood clots. Ordinarily, blood is drawn, and it should clot within 11 to 13.5 seconds. But when someone's affected with the H word, it could take as long as 20 seconds.
You don't look like Paul's father.
I am. Deal with it, okay? I'm gonna beat up whoever did this to my son, okay? Do you know who he is?
No, I wasn't there. I'm just a doctor.
Okay, so what happened to my son then?
Okay, I'm Dr.
Have
Incredibly
you got the
Long.
answers?
I'm Dr. Incredibly Long Name. I'm the hematologist. So we did the prothrombin test on it to see how fast it takes your son's blood to clot. And normally, it would take 11 to 13.5 seconds, and your son's blood took 20. So his blood's just not clotting. So if he sustains another injury like this, he's just gonna keep bleeding and bleeding.
Okay, that's cool.
I am Emma Rasmussen, the ER doctor. ER. I'm now going to send specialists to tell you what kind of body systems are affected by this condition in your son. The disease that your son has developed is causing major problems to other body systems. It is an inherited genetic disorder involving X gene. It affects the skeletal system because it causes excessive bleeding at joints, which could lead to septic arthritis. This is very possible for him to develop as an adult.
It also affects the nervous system because any trauma to the brain will cause large pools of blood to develop and impede natural functions. This can lead to death since blood isn't clotting in the brain. If it's not treated quickly, Paul may pass due to seizures and paralysis.
It majorly affects the circulatory system since the hemoglobin count is very low, which means the red blood cell count is also low. Red blood cells are responsible for delivering oxygen to major organs and any tissues. But if this count is low, the organs can't get oxygen, which can lead to necrosis, which is cell death. Another system that is affected is the respiratory system. When you inhale oxygen, it's picked up and carried by the red blood cells. However, if there is a low red blood cell count, then this oxygen cannot be carried, making it harder to capitalize off of the oxygen you've taken in.
Treatment options for Paul. One includes the hormone desmopressin, which can stimulate his body to release a more clotting factor, since in this disorder his blood's not clotting, and it's injected slowly into a vein, it's also provided as a nasal spray.
Oh, that's cool.
Another one is the clot-preserving medications, where these medications help prevent clots from breaking down. There are also fibrin sealants, which can be applied directly to the wound site. So where he got hurt was his head because of that bully that hit him.
Yeah, I'm gonna kill that bully, by the way.
So when it's applied there, it can promote clotting and healing. So in his disorder, his disorder is not fully curable, which means he's just gonna need some physical therapy on the way, which is gonna ease his symptoms and signs for internal bleeding. And if the internal bleeding has caused severe damage, he also may need surgery.
So sad.
There's also first aid for minor cuts. There's also vaccinations that he might need. So although blood products are screened, it's also possible for people who rely on them to contract diseases. And if you have the disease that Paul has, then he should consider receiving immunization against hepatitis A and B.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with the surgery for my little boy, and also the hormone thing you said. Well, what was the hormone thing?
The desmopressin?
Yeah, that.
Okay. I think those are good options for treatment.
Cool. Thank you.
Now drilling the hole through the skull and preparing for extraction.
Training. In the craniotomy, the surgeons drilled a hole into the skull, making it possible for blood to be extracted.
Cool.
All right, Paul, now we're gonna give you your hormone through a nasal spray.
The hormone that was injected can stimulate the body to release a more clotting factor. Because the disease that Paul has cannot clot blood, this is needed.
The procedure we performed on Paul is called a craniotomy. I drilled into his skull to give us an opening.
And I went in and drained the blood.
After that, Paul was given a nasal spray, which is a better alternative than using a syringe because, he's so young. Okay, so Paul's back from surgery. He's made it through pretty great. The hematoma is completely gone, so he doesn't have anything wrong with his brain at the moment. But because he just, recovered from surgery, he's not gonna be able to do things like exercise for a period of time. He's gonna want to stay bedridden and kind of just avoid anything that would put too much strain on the area. And of course, now that we found out that he has this condition, he's gonna have to live his life pretty differently now. He can't just get smacked onto concrete anymore. So you're gonna wanna look into seeing a counselor perhaps once he gets older to talk about this kind of stuff, because it can be kind of frustrating to live with a condition like this. You're gonna wanna think about physical therapy, especially after a surgery like this. It can definitely help a lot. You're gonna wanna exercise regularly, of course. You're gonna wanna avoid certain pain medications that can aggravate bleeding, so you can't use stuff like ibuprofen, Advil, Motrin, IB, Tylenol, which is acetaminophen. Can't take blood thinning medications at all. Gonna wanna practice really good dental hygiene to prevent a tooth extraction, of course, because if that comes out, it's just not gonna stop bleeding. And really just protect him from anything that could cause bleeding. So I don't know if sports or so would be a good idea when he has a condition like this, but just keep it on the safe side.
Rip Paul, he'll always be in our hearts.
He's alive.
I first went through when I was 2 years old. And I've been dealing with it ever since. I'm not the only one who goes through. 200,000 people go through it too. Going through is basically non-stop bleeding. When you're dealing with, Band-Aids can't really help. Anytime I say I hate you, my mom gets really upset. I wish there was no such thing as I hate you. I hate you. I hate you. And I also hate you, Sasha.
My colleagues and I determined what the disease is. Now, can you find out? Hey, Miss Merkin, it's for me to meet with the hematologist so he can take her.
You realize Sasha?
Honestly.
Can you get off your...
I thought you told me to be on.
No, you have to listen to me. Okay, so you have...
The thrombin test is a test of...
Can you guys stop talking? Guys,
I still don't know what to say.
There's also signs of a
Go.
I missed the one.
What is that?